Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in our second semifinals match of the Corsair Cup. As we spawn down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, the blue Zerg player. Give it up for On Fire's Bly.
In the top left as the red Zerg, he is Roots Hydra.
At what point does the team On Fire, like, officially die? Because I feel like the person who, quote-unquote, managed the team was Scarlet, and she's no longer on Team On Fire anymore. Neeb's not on Team On Fire anymore.
Was she the one that managed it? I always thought it was someone else that brought them all together.
Quote-unquote managed, in the sense that I think that she at least used to look after Neeb a lot. I will say that, at least.
Well, that's certainly true.
But Bly is the reason why it was called Team On Fire. So it's like, when Bly leaves, is that when the team is dead?
I guess so. Probably. I don't know. Are they still doing like the actual team tournament? Because that's where they made it.
That's actually a good question. That would be for SC2 Improve.
Yeah. I don't know if they're still in it or not.
Yeah, I'd have to double check that. Well, regardless, we do have ZvZ on our hands, and Bly is still very much alive, regardless of whether he's on a team or not. And we do have fairly fast Zergling speed coming out from Bly. Hydra much further behind on that gas mining, actually.
Yeah, a little bit. We did bring this up, I guess, when I was predicting the other semifinal, which I was totally, absolutely correct, so way to go me. Bly versus Hydra, that one player is very aggressive, the other one is just very good. Both of them are obviously very good, but, like, Hydra is that kind of more standard guy that can just do what he wants every single game and probably end up winning anyway. Occasionally he throws in his own cheese, because any good tournament player will, but I do think he'd be playing more like he is right now, which is, you know, not getting the speed. He does like going for the Roach build on Frozen Temple because you can wall off with it.
Yeah, but going for an incredibly fast lair tech, 3-minute lair tech, is also going to end up losing some of those Zerglings, so maybe a little bit vulnerable, not necessarily to like damage happening, but those Zerglings of Hydra are going to have a really good opportunity to potentially sneak on by. But here's the thing. Hydra completely forewent Zergling speed, so it actually might be a little bit harder than I'm making it sound like right now.
Well, Hydra is kind of a, I feel like he's a master of this style, but Bly, this is actually kind of interesting. You know, we got the cast, that is Rifkin and I got to cast at DreamHack, which is really, really cool. But what was cooler than that was that we got to prep really well because we talked with Bly beforehand about his match versus Hydra, and he had everything down to a T because he studied this guy a lot. And Frozen Temple happened to be the first map, and he happens to be doing very similar things to that DreamHack game. In his plan, he was like, Hydra always goes for the Roach wall off and goes for Roaches, which is exactly what Hydra's doing. Good call there. He said he wanted to skip speed so that he would get the fastest Spire possible and thus surprise Hydra before he could attack, because of course there's always that little dynamic of Roaches attacking into the Spire player. Can they survive long enough? But Bly once again went for that speed instead of skipping it, but still getting the Spire. So if Hydra were to attack, he might be able to catch him before that Spire was done. But Hydra, you know, he's still droning a little bit, he's getting his upgrades. His Overseer comes in now and sees a Spire, you know, about halfway done. Does he try and push? I don't know. I think it's too late.
You think so? Because I guess the way that I look at it right now is that you take all those situations. Obviously, Bly, by getting that Zergling speed, it's not the fastest Spire possible. But then you also consider that Hydra went for no Zergling speed. So he's actually going to be able to get out those Roaches in higher numbers a little bit earlier on than you'd normally get.
Yeah, but I mean, he would have had to been moving across the map 10 seconds ago.
That's true.
Now this is cool. Okay, so if he wasn't going to do just the Roach attack, which obviously he isn't because he wasn't going, then going for the Nidus Worm with Queens is like the next step all in versus someone going for Mutas. You know, you can do it a little bit later. It's going to have a little bit of anti-air, and of course it's going to have the much faster reinforcement point. So Bly might be thinking like, oh great, he didn't go for the Roach attack. Now I can start to dominate with Mutas and forget that Nidus Worms are an option.
Yeah, a couple of spine crawlers are going to be helpful depending on where this Nidus Worm goes down, but oh, we have an Overseer, I think it was, or an Overlord at the north side. And I guess we have one Overseer on the south side, so it's probably looking like it's going to go down in the main base. Mutals are now out, and hey, there's going to be a big signal when, well, if the Queens actually start to get picked off, that actually might be a big problem. A lot of the transfuses also being burned. This is actually working out quite well for Bly, I would say.
Yeah, and this should look somewhat suspicious to see 5 Queens on the front lines. I'm surprised he's not looking around for a Nidus Room right now, but actually gets into the main base, and Bly still isn't reacting.
Oh.
The Queen just, there's like a single Queen just walks forward, just super awkward. There we go. Now the Nidus Room's in full effect, and Bly doesn't have much of a response for it. Queen's gotta get in there and get out.
Yeah, the Mutals, though, I feel like they're going to be able to easily focus fire down this Nidus Worm.
Where are the Queens that he was targeting? They didn't die, right?
No, they were just sitting inside the Nidus Room. They didn't actually unload.
What? Well, that's a mistake. Luckily, there's a second one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank God for the second one.
Well, there should be enough energy for at least a couple of transfuses over here, but definitely not as many as he was hoping for, as he's now out of transfuses. The Mutals are 1v1ing those all Queens, and now the Nidus Room goes down once again.
Well, the Queens might not have taken out every single Muta. They certainly killed a couple, and the Roaches are not going to get this base. They got 17 drones to the natural.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, Bly went for the 4th as a 3rd. That might be something that, like, Hydra can't get to, but he still did so much damage. Even gets the Spire. Oh.
Yeah, the transition just isn't quite there for Bly anymore. He's sitting on a 1-base economy, and it's over by this 3rd. At this point, Hydra doesn't, well, actually no, Hydra did actually scout out that 3rd expansion location with the Overseer.
I was gonna say, the Overseer goes right by there. It was actually, I don't know why I took that base, except that
Almost
it is
sneaky.
It is farther away, so like the Mutas may be able to attack Roaches on the way over there, but I mean,
that's a clever thought. Oh, he's gonna be able to kill off the Nidus Worm before anything actually unloads out of it. But it's just the problem that he's sitting down 20 workers and he's sitting down 2 bases.
Yeah, both ended up dying. This, Mutas can actually snowball to such an effect that I'm, like, totally in favor, but Bly also losing the Spire is what makes me say, like, this game is over.
Yeah.
If he was adding on even 1 or 2 Mutas per minute, I still think that would give him a much better chance. But with no Mutas whatsoever coming out, Hydra will get enough, you know, Hydras, his name, oh my god, and he'll get enough Queens, he'll get enough Roaches, and it won't be that much of an issue to finally push, once Hydra feels comfortable enough, of course, because you don't just push with 10 Hydras, that can do so well against mutants.
Yeah, no need to overcommit to anything. In fact, the cool thing about Hydra's situation is that he knows, first of all, there's not going to be any more Mutals on the way. So he doesn't have to like overproduce Spore Crawlers or anything of the sort. He killed off the Lair Tech, so he knows there's not going to be like a remade Spire or anything like that. So Hydra can, as you were saying, like just take his time and do whatever he wants to play a little bit safe and continue to drone up and get up whatever he needs.
Well, he actually does push forward with a very small amount of units. This is, I think, too little, really. The Mutas, if they're, you know, if they're, microed like this, they can actually take on those Hydras. Not super well, but as you can see, he's still killing them.
Yeah. Well, 2 or 3 of them go down. There's actually only like 3 Hydralists or 4 Hydralists left over in that army. So, gonna delay a little bit. And of course, Bly did reestablish his bases, but again, it's not just that he lost the bases or even the tech. He lost the drones themselves. So you can see he's not actually even saturated on any of these bases.
Yeah, Hydra is dominating that income graph right here. Bly, you know, he's putting a lot of focus on Roaches again, and he's trying to do a couple of really neat counterattacks and run-bys, and that is really cool, but even supply blocked for a second there. I guess a Hydra found an Overlord. It's a pretty big deal. If this army goes down, I mean, that's something he can't easily replace. Bly still not on supply blocked either. He's going to try and target on the Hydras. That was not worth it.
Yeah. A couple of these Roaches also from Hydra doing a bit of counter damage and killing off 2 workers. That might not seem like a lot, but that was 1/15 of the economy for Bly. That was
wow, that math.
that math. But
there you go.
I mean, it's still a decent amount. When you only have 30 workers, that really does mean a lot. And here we go. The Roaches come in, and this could just be the finishing blow over here for Hydra, saying, I already beat you in Anaheim, or sorry, in Austin. I'm here to do it again.
Yeah, well, Bly has actually lost to Hydra like 6 out of 7 times. The one time Bly has won a best of was at the DreamHack in February. On every other online tournament, obviously the offline tournament in Austin, he's lost against Hydra.
Well, we can actually see that exact statistic as I go to our statistics match history page.
Hey.
As, yeah, the last 5 times they faced each other, which were all in the last 2 to 3 months, Hydra has won 2-0, 3-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-0. And Hydra is currently sitting 16-2 versus Bly. Oh, Jesus.
Oof, that's painful.
What's worse, never having won a series versus your opponent, like the whole, what was it, Hydra versus Keen series?
Keen.
Or is it worse to just be like 16-2?
16-2, I think.
Yeah.
For me, at least. That's just it's a long time not to win against someone as opposed to a short time where maybe you can get better.
Yeah, that's definitely true. 5 series, not quite as demotivating as 16 series. But of course, here we go. We're going to hop into game number 2. The map is going to be all arena for this one. And we'll see you guys there. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be starting over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Top of the blue Zerg player. Currently sitting down 0-1. Give it up for Bly.
And top left as the red Zerg. He's Hydra. Oh, Bly. Oh, you.
So, you obviously will remember the DreamHack Austin series better than I do. Do you remember if All Arena was actually played?
I don't think it was. I remember most of the strategy he gave us. Like Ruins of Endion, I remember that. I remember the Invader strategy, the Frozen Temple strategy. I think, well, the thing is, Bly gave us a strategy for every single map. He just assumed that 1 or 2 would be vetoed. He was actually wrong on one, correct on the other, and I think Arena might have been one of them, but Arena, I forget this one.
It's just, I mean, it's just a different map that I think you have to play a little bit differently. Even in ZvZ, where the rush distances are fairly short, going for these early pools can be a little bit more effective, but I mean, Hydra didn't go for a hatch first, he went for a pool first. He actually skipped gas, which could maybe lead into some interesting aggression from Bly being effective. It's
actually like the best defense, I think, at this point, with it being so well practiced. You know, all the people showed how to do it. You know, and it's just actually so good now on this map in particular. So by not getting gas, you have more minerals for a spine crawler and more queens. You have enough lings initially to like do okay. You don't really want to lose the hatchery though, that's for sure. And then eventually when that starts to spread creep, you just bring everything down, and Bly actually won't have enough to defend or attack into everything I just listed.
Yeah, the big fear over here for Hydra is going to be those Banelings that are morphing in, as he is not going to have speed Zerglings. Banelings can very easily focus fire them down, but I mean, every single one gets canceled. And even though speed finishes up for Bly, I mean, he's got to make something happen, and he just ran out of his big trump card. Yeah.
Hydra will eventually move on to Roaches, but he's got to defend right now, and Queens would actually be better against it. You wait for Roaches, that's more minerals, waiting for the, you know, actually getting the Roach Warren, and 1 or 2 Roaches actually doesn't do that well against mass feedlings. So definitely just another Queen, another Spine Crawler, like all those things are actually better. And if he does end up defending, that's when he can worry about transitioning himself, getting his own speed, getting his Roach Warren, whatever he wants to do. Because Bly is obviously super all in with this.
Yeah. Banelings, are they just going to go on top of the Spine Crawler? This is the second one further back, so I don't know how effective that's going to be. He does manage to take out one of them while still keeping 2 Banelings alive, and there's not a lot left over for Bly.
No, there's not. And the Banelings really, you know, mass lings when they don't have a queen wall off, when they only have 1 queen and it's, you know, trying to help. Mass speedlings will work, you know, you get a surround on everything like I just listed, and it goes down pretty quickly. But with the wall, with good positioning on the queens in general, with minimal ling backup, there's not really a lot of surrounds going down. Like, these queens are protecting each other now. And of course they have transfusion energy now too. And Bly's just losing steam.
Losing steam is a really good way to put it, as Bly, I feel like this has got to be his last big attempt over here. And he's going to be able to catch one of the queens. Spinecrawler still going to be able to whittle away at those banelings. And Bly is making some progress, but I mean...
I didn't realize... Oh, God, phew. I was like, I didn't realize how low that hatchery had gotten, but a transfuse goes into it.
Oh.
The other one's ready.
It's not quite low enough that he can just focus hard down. As you were saying, yeah, the transfuse is also going to cause some problems. Roach Warren now going up, so once those roaches come out, I mean, that effectively just puts a complete halt to any of the aggression Bly can put on with just pure Zergling Baneling.
Yeah. It's another queen, but, you know, this is not... Hydra doesn't really have a problem remaking queens. Again, that lack of gas gave him higher drone counts. He's been fitting in drones every now and then, so at 25 to 16, he can afford to remake queens. It's just, you know, the time would be an issue, but now he has spine crawlers and roaches on the way, and when 8 roaches pop, they're gonna be able to clean up Bly. That's enough roaches.
Oh, and the roaches pop at the exact right moment. Baneling's gonna try and focus fire themselves down. It seems like on the hatchery, but not able to do a whole lot. 2 workers killed.
Well, that's it for Bly, man. There's nothing else he can do. Even if he had gotten the hatchery, it still would have been a problem. Saturation would have been better on the main base for Hydra. He would have maybe still gotten into roaches. And he would have had the higher tech to try and macro it, even, you know, still, because Bly still doesn't have his own hatchery. It would be even and not even, I think. So it's been a bad game from the start. That
feeling when your opponent goes for a lair tech before you've taken your natural, and they have more bases.
I used to do this build back when I was a Zerg player in the beginning of Wings of Liberty, where you would keep your roaches on your ramp, go for like early roaches, and then go for a lair, and they would never be able to scout your spire.
That sounds like some Brood War level stuff, where it's like, 1 base spire, I had 7 drones and you had 8.
It kind of was. It was back when everyone was super bad, and they didn't think about scouting. You know, you deny slow overlords, they wouldn't have a lair to get overseers. It was good times. But there he goes, crashes in the hatchery. But what does that really mean?
It means that he dies to the
hatchery
counterattack.
Count, but not the drone count, and not like the roach count. GG.
Yeah.
Moral victory.
Moral victory for Bly, but the victory in the game goes to Hydra as he moves on to the grand finals. Face off versus Liquid Mana. All right. Well, kind of short game over there, but I think that we are gonna just get ready for the next game to get started. It's gonna be our best of 5 grand finals for the Corsair Cup number 24. I believe the prize pool distribution is $60 for first place, $20 for second place, $10 for third place, and $10 for fourth place. Actually, do we go to the... No, there is no third, fourth place match.
No, there isn't.
So, hey, Bly still walks away with $10, as does Alive. Definitely not too terrible. But, yeah, we're going to hop to a short little break before we hop into that grand final, so we'll see you guys in just a little bit.